everyone, welcome to my channel. So glad you all could make it. Please do me a favor and hit the subscription button if you don't mind. As you can see, we are a growing channel and it is a huge goal of mine to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Don't know how far we can get, but hopefully we get far enough. I'm really excited about this video because it is covering my absolute favorite topic, wash and goes. I feel like people struggle with wash and goes the most. I feel like that's where a lot of people have the most questions, you know, that's where a lot of people are still struggling. So yeah, that's basically why I'm making this video. And my hair is in a bonnet. I said a bonnet. My hair is under this bag because I put conditioner in it while I was in the shower. And I'm going to be basically doing and styling my wash and go while addressing common wash and go concerns. We're going to be talking about why your wash and goes aren't working. And if this is something you're interested in, please stay tuned because I have a lot of nuggets to offer. So if you watched my simplified wash day routine, you would know that I started to apply my conditioners in the shower. And I'm not talking about deep conditioners. I'm talking about regular old leave-in conditioners. I basically decided to start treating my leave-in conditioners as deep conditioners. And trust me, I don't leave the conditioners in as nearly as long as I would a deep conditioner, but I have understood that my hair is low porosity, and with low porosity hair, you really have to give your strands time to fully penetrate all of that product. And I've noticed such a huge difference whenever I apply my leave-in conditioners in the shower and then I leave it to sit a little bit before I go in with my gel. Low porosity hair, it takes forever for anything to penetrate. So it doesn't really make much sense for you to go in with leave-in conditioner and then go right in with gel, because at that point the products will just be mixing together. Your wash and goes might not be working because you're not sure of what your hair porosity is. Hair porosity is crucial when it comes to learning how to properly take care of your hair. It's almost impossible to know how to take care of your hair if you're not even sure of your porosity. I'm using this gel from Styler, and it's just their regular stronghold gel. And I'm currently on the hunt for finding stronghold gels that have less harsh of ingredients, but yeah, I'm still on that hunt. So today we're just going to use our Styler gel. Straight to the point. It's very quick. It always works, so that's what we'll be using. So if you're somebody who's not aware of your porosity, there's plenty of porosity tests all over YouTube. I mean, all over Google. There's many different ways to know what your hair porosity is. But for me, I think the most concise way of knowing is to just pay attention to how your hair receives water and moisture and like conditioners and stuff. For example, if you apply conditioner on your hair and it stays white for a while, most likely your hair is low porosity because it takes its time to fully dissolve all of that product. If I didn't know that my hair was low porosity, I wouldn't have known that my hair receives conditioner in the shower much better than it does outside of the shower. And I also wouldn't know that that is the reason why my hair tends to flake after my wash and goes dry. I find that whenever I blow dry my hair right after styling a wash and go versus letting it air dry, I get way less flaking. Because think about it, what causes flakes? I know that a lot of people believe that flaking comes from when you mix two products that just don't really go well together. However, that doesn't really explain how two products from the same line can flake. And I know flaking is also a really big issue with wash and goes. The reason why you might still get flaking from that is because you have low porosity hair, and no matter how long you waited or no matter how long it took for your hair to fully dry, it just wasn't able to penetrate all the products. So what happens to the remaining products that your hair wasn't able to penetrate? It dries, hardens, and then it starts to flake. So that's also another reason for flaking, not just products not being able to go together. So if you're someone with low porosity hair, most likely you'll be way more prone to flaking. So it's advisable to just blow dry right after you're done styling your wash and goes. So yeah, knowing your porosity is really important because, honey, high porosity and low porosity are not the same thing. It is not a joke out here. You will literally just constantly be in a cycle of disappointment if you're not sure of what your hair porosity is. Another reason why your wash and goes might not be working would be because you don't curl train. Okay? I just basically mean that you probably don't wear your hair out that often, you know, and the times that you do wear it out and you want to attempt to wash and go, it almost never works. Well, that's because you don't just wake up with a bomb wash and go, you know. The first 3-4 wash and goes I did, compared to how they look now, were absolutely terrible. But I wasn't really mad because at the end of the day, I understood that it's going to take a lot of curl training and it's going to take a lot of practice in order for my curls to look how I want them to look. So if you're someone that wants to attempt a fire wash and go, you have to train your hair ahead of time if you want your curls to end up looking really nice in the long run. So if you're always protective styling, or let's say, or not even just protective styling, like if all you do is maybe like braid outs or twist outs, it's really hard for you to jump to a wash and go and it will come out looking amazing because your hair is kind of trained to do twist outs and to do braid outs, but is it trained to do wash and goes? If I'm to attempt a braid out, it's not really going to come out as good as someone who does braid outs all the time. But for me, because I do wash and goes all the time, I can always bet that my wash and goes will come out looking really good all the time. Versus someone who always does braid outs, their wash and goes might take a little bit more time and a little bit more practice to get to where they want it to be. So your curls are alive, your curls are well. They have minds of their own, and sometimes you kind of just have to manipulate it and get it to do what you want it to do. So there's a comment that my sister would always make in regards to her hair. And she would say that, because my sister's hair was really long and it was natural, but for some reason it wasn't laying down. Because you know when your hair gets longer to the point where that gravitational pull starts to, you know, pull it down. So I guess she was expecting for the same situation to happen to her, but it never like laid down. And now looking back at it, it's because she never like trained her hair to actually lay down. So my sister basically was depending on gravity to make her hair start falling, but in reality it takes training for it to get to that point. If you've never done a wash and go before, or if you've, you know, never tried a certain hairstyle before, it's not gonna look good the first try, no matter how much you want it to, or even the second or the third try. Because you know, as naturals, like we're always so hard on our hair. You know, the second that it doesn't lay how we want it to, we get so frustrated with it. You know, we kind of like attach bad affirmations to it, when in reality, it just takes a little bit of practice. It just takes a little bit of training. Another reason why your wash and goes might not be working is because you might not be properly cleansing your hair. So as naturals, we use like a whole bunch of different products, from creams to gels to oils to mousses to butters. I mean, the list literally goes on. So if you're not properly cleansing your hair after weighing it down with all these products, your curls are not going to define because they're weighed down. You know, they're not going to define because you haven't created a clean slate. You know, just a clean canvas for your curls to flourish. And it could be you're not using proper cleaning agents, or it could just be that you're not taking the time needed to actually shampoo. I notice that a lot of people don't really spend as much time cleansing their actual hair strands. Some naturals, if I'm not mistaken, even say that you shouldn't even bother cleaning your strands because the suds from your scalp will fall down to your hair and stuff like that. So I feel like because of these different ideas and these different methods that we're hearing, things kind of get lost in translation. So now you have a lot of people that wash their scalp, but they don't necessarily take the time to clean their actual hair strands. And if you're one of those people, that might be the reason why your wash and goes don't really come out defined, because you only wash your scalp and not necessarily take the time needed to scrub those hair strands as well. So another reason why your wash and goes might not be working might be because you're using too much or too little water. I've had some really difficult wash and goes to get through because of how wet my hair was. And I'm starting to realize that the type of hydration you need depends on the type of gel you're using. So for example, if you're using a strong coat gel, the consistency will be a little bit more tackier. So having excess water really won't do much. It's honestly gonna assist you in defining your curls. But if you're using a light hold gel, so the lightweight gel might have difficulty holding your curls in place because of how wet it might be. Another thing too is wet hair can cause so much frizz when you incorporate it with certain products. So just understanding that, you know, there's a certain level of hydration that you would need for a successful wash and go depending on the type of products you're using, because water can cause a hell of a lot of frizz. I'm sure we all know that. So yeah. Another reason why you might be having trouble with your wash and goes might be because of the technique that you're using. Two things that are so huge in determining how your wash and goes will come out is product and technique. If you lack on one of these, your wash and goes might come out looking not how you want them to. Technique varies based off of hair type, based off of hair porosity, and your hair density. I'm just going to tell you guys what my technique is. I have very thick hair, so when I am applying my gel, I apply them in very slim, right? I apply them in very thin sections, not too dense, small sections. I noticed that when I do it this way, all of my curls receive the right amount of product, the right amount of gel, so my curls come out looking so amazing. And also, I don't use any type of brush, comb, none of that. I've tried it. I am one of those naturals that cannot use a Denman brush because all it does is create frizz on my hair. So that's when I settled with the praying hands and raking method. This method defines my curls in the best way possible. You can also finger coil too. I used to finger coil, but I don't finger coil as much anymore. The reason why I was finger coiling when I first started doing wash and goes was because my curls were not trained. I wasn't pleased with the state of my curls when I just raked it. And that's obviously because I had just started doing wash and goes. So finger coiling is one thing that really helped me with curl definition. If you're having trouble defining your curls, instead of killing yourself, just finger coil. I think everyone's hair can finger coil. And with time, your curls will start to pay attention. Like, okay, this is what you do. And they'll start to reciprocate. You don't have to stay on one technique, especially if it's not working. You know, if just because it worked for somebody else, that doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So just try a different technique and be happy with your results. Another reason why your wash and goes might not be looking how you want them to is because you're rushing the whole entire process. You really have to take your time, define your curls in smaller sections. If you have low porosity hair, give your hair some time to allow that conditioner to penetrate before using the gel. You need time, you know, so there's no need to rush a wash and go because you're gonna get rushed results if you rush it. And then one thing I can say is that in the beginning, yes, wash and goes will take a lot of time. I think wash and goes are notorious for how much time they actually take. But the more you do it, the quicker it's going to become. And if you're someone with low porosity hair, if you take my advice on applying conditioner in the shower before coming out and applying gel, the process will be much faster. My wash and goes used to take me 2 hours to complete, but now because I apply my conditioner in the shower, it takes me like 45 minutes, an hour. So yeah, don't rush it. Take your time. Like, it's your hair. There's no need to rush it. And we are almost halfway done, but look at how good my hair looks. Wow. But trust and believe, my hair did not look like this the first day I started doing wash and goes, but now it looks so juicy, so shiny. And as y'all can see, I don't even have any white cast because all the conditioner has completely absorbed in my hair. And once my hair dries, watch, I'm not going to get no type of flaking because everything successfully penetrated. I have never in my life seen a natural hairstyle that can with people's mental the way that wash and goes can. And I'm just saying this to say that another reason why your wash and goes might not be working is because you lack perspective. What I basically mean by perspective, I don't really have like an actual wording for what I mean, but I'm just going to give you guys an example. I don't know if you guys watched my wash and go I did using the Cantu Beauty gel. I specifically stated that I wasn't going to use that gel anymore because I didn't like the results that I got. I don't actually feel that way anymore. I could definitely still pick up that gel and do a wash and go with it. Why? Because I understand that a light hold gel is not going to give me the same type of results as a strong hold gel. So once I understood that, my perspective completely changed. So even though I was still getting the same quality of results that I was getting with the gel, but I was okay with it because I understood that this gel is lightweight and this is what it's here for. These are the type of curls that it's going to produce. Your perspective is really everything. Being okay with the type of curls that God gave you, you have to be okay with it. Because if you're someone that has like 4A hair, 4B or 4C hair, and you accept that, when you finally go to do a wash and go, you understand that, you know what, this is how it's supposed to look. Sometimes you really can't completely combat frizz, but you just do the best that you can, because we get it, you know, hair textures are all different. But being okay with that, being at peace with the fact that my hair looks exactly like this, it's in its defined state, and I'm happy with it, that is really going to change a lot of lives, in my opinion. Once people accept their hair type, their hair pattern, what their hair does, it's just easier to, you know, move on with life. Honestly, I would encourage everyone watching this video, I would just encourage you guys to Google what your hair type looks like defined. You know, once you Google exactly how it's supposed to look, and I get it, sometimes the pictures on Google can be very, very misleading. Or you can even go on Instagram or something like that. See what your hair type looks like in its defined state. I feel like once you come and accept that, everything will change, because perspective is everything. Because you might be thinking that your wash and goes might not look good, or because they're not that defined. That doesn't really define, to me, that honestly doesn't really define whether a wash and go is successful or not. Because I understand that if I'm using a strong hold gel, I'm expecting strong hold gel results, okay? I want to see every last bit of definition. But if I'm using something like a mousse or something like a light hold gel, I understand that I can't expect my hair to look completely defined. There's going to be some frizz. You know, sometimes a frizzy wash and go can actually be a look too. Also, don't think that there's a textbook version of what a wash and go is supposed to look like, especially for your hair type. I think that's up to us to define the terms. All right, guys, so here we are the next day. Well, sorry, it's not the next day. It's actually been 2 days since I filmed, because yesterday I was supposed to style my hair and stuff, but it got so crazy. Like, it was raining so hard, it was thundering, there was so much lightning, it was really dark, and it just was not conducive for me to film. So yeah, thank God today we have much better weather. My hair has been stretched, fluffed, and picked, as well as styled. I decided to keep it really simple and just insert some bobby pins at the front to get my front hair out of the way. But as y'all can see, I have no flaking. My hair is fully defined. It's 100% dry. The hold is crazy. It's insane. I know this wash and go is going to last me up to 10 days for sure. But, you know, it has been raining a lot lately. So let's hope. Because, you know, weather is always that one element that you cannot control when it comes to wash and goes in your hair. So if, for example, you live in a very humid area, like Texas, I live in Texas and it's extremely humid here, don't really fault yourself too much if your wash and goes are not lasting as long as you'd want them to. You can't control things like humidity, you can't control things like weather, so in that sense, that wouldn't really be that your wash and go isn't working. It's just that the area that you're in is kind of coming in between you and longevity in your wash and goes. Please subscribe if you have not already. I have so many interesting and very informative videos coming down. Y'all know I'm a growing channel, okay? And 1,000 subscribers is my absolute goal to get to by the end of the year. I will keep saying it until I get there. Help me get to 1K subscribers. I really sincerely hope that you tackle whatever the issue might be with your wash and goes. Do what you need to do to fix that. Switch up the routine. Change the products, look for new products, wash your hair. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's so many different reasons why your wash and goes could not be working. Thank y'all so much for clicking on my video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.